The other moves yesterday and some of the teams, the Raiders, were as busy as anybody. Take us through what they did.
Well, they signed their center, Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens, to a record-shattering contract that jumps the center market by 50%, $27 million a year, and he's probably going to see all 3 years of the deal. Kind of rebuilt their defense. They signed a couple of linebackers, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, signed Kwity Paye as an edge rusher. They'd already done some work at cornerback, so the Raiders very aggressive with all their cast. Jalen Naylor, the receiver, speedy receiver. They're happy to get him. So Raiders doing a lot of work to get ready for Fernando Mendoza.
A lot of moves don't always mean good moves. To me, they look like good moves. What did you think?
Yeah, I think that they are obviously going to be drafting a quarterback and get him very cheap. So investing that money, which people would say is a lot for a center, in a center that could stabilize that offensive line, I think it's a huge move to help prepare Mendoza to have success.
Absolutely, Dan. I mean, what they've done, they're going to draft Fernando Mendoza #1. They added draft picks, obviously, in the trade of Max Crosby as well. Looks like they're setting things up a little bit for Mendoza pretty nicely to get started.
It's the best day the Raiders could have had for their potential young quarterback. I think the #1 thing you can do for a young quarterback to help him, give him a defense. Make him feel that he doesn't have to score 30 points a game and a touchdown every pass play. The addition to those defensive picks, big deal. And then the second thing is you can keep him clean. And Linderbaum's going to be a big part of that. Linderbaum's very good in the run game, in their zone run game. Clint Kubiak getting out on the edges and being athletic. He's also really strong in protection. Also, remember, Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty's their first-round pick last year. He had 112 runs that were up the middle of their offensive line. 50% of those were hit at or behind the line of scrimmage. So if they can just get Genty to run the football a little bit better, that's also going to be something super impactful for Mendoza.
I'm told Schefter wants to jump in here.
Greeny.
Yeah, Peter, go.
Oh, I was going to get in.
Yeah, go. Go ahead. Go.
There's the crappy team tax, you know, like everyone's saying, oh, they overpaid. They're a crappy team. You have to overpay sometimes to get people to come to a crappy team. Now they're not going to be a crappy team.
Sorry, Peter.
Look at the Patriots last year.
We don't use the word overpaid. Like no player is ever overpaid. When Dominique Foxworth is on the Get Up program, we find another word other than overpaid because none of these guys are overpaid. I'm sorry.
You don't have any problem with crappy team, but overpaid.
Crappy team is fine.
We prefer more than fairly compensated.
Yeah, I like that. More than fairly compensated. I'm good with that.
I'll just say this. Last year, the Patriots spent $300 million in free agency, and they gave Milton Williams this huge deal. And everyone said, oh, they overpaid. And Stephon Diggs. They played in the Super Bowl later that year. All right? That's what I'm saying.
Way to go. Yes, way to go, Peter. I love it.
Dominique is not having anyone being overpaid under any circumstances. Schefter wants in. Schefter, get in here.
Well, this is a team that's remaking its entire roster in front of our eyes, starting with the trade Friday night of Max Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens for 2-1s, and then goes out and spends all the money that it does yesterday. And I can tell you that the one contract, and no player, I agree with Dominique, is ever overpaid. That's very good, Dominique. But the one contract that caught the attention of the entire National Football League that's still being talked about today and will be talked about is the contract given to Tyler Linderbaum, the center. Here's a player who the Ravens didn't pick up his fifth-year option, didn't tag him. The tag would have cost $26 million, and he winds up getting $27 million a year average, the highest paid interior offensive lineman in NFL history for a center. Centers have never been paid. But Clint Kubiak, the Raiders head coach, wanted not only a quarterback, which they'll get in the draft, but a quarterback for the offensive line, for the run scheme that he runs. And they identified Tyler Linderbaum. And not only did they make him the highest paid center, highest paid interior offensive lineman, but they gave him a 3-year deal, which teams are loath to do that. They don't want a player there for 3. They want him there for 4 years, 5 years. So Tyler Linderbaum gets this huge deal with the chance to become a free agent again at the age of 28. And that is the deal that I can tell you caught the attention of everybody across the league. There was an executive that called me last night. They're like, you didn't mention that it was going to be this high. I said, I spoke to you over the weekend, and there was a feeling that this is where it was going to go to. The only question, it was never a question about whether he was going to become the highest paid interior offensive lineman. The only question was whether he would become at center the highest paid offensive lineman in history at center. And he fell short of that mark by a little, but it caught everybody's attention.
It's just a testament to what could happen if you didn't have the wage-restricting devices of the franchise tag, the 50-year option, all that kind of stuff. This guy got a real free agency, and as a result was robustly compensated.
And I think his athleticism adds to the screen game, which I think is huge for a young quarterback to be able to get rid of the ball quickly in the screen game. Tyler Linderbaum is able to do that because he's one of the more athletic centers in the league. It's a really, really good deal, I think, for a team that has some money to spend, considering the fact that they have premier positions like Bowers and the quarterback on rookie contract.
I'll say two things. One, Jeff Saturday texted me yesterday. He's starting to work out again now that the centers are getting paid this way. And two, we had 3 topics planned for that, and we got in 1. So let's work on this, guys. We got to fly through these a little more.
Be Damian Woody. The Damian Woody. You know what I mean? You got to battle the man in the mirror. Actually, it was just Com's issue from Graziano. Hey, D-Dub, great to see you. We're going to just start things off with what Kansas City did, signing Kenneth Walker III. Does that mean the Kansas City's old offense being back, overreaction or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's an overreaction because their offense was never based on the running game. It was always based on those explosive plays from Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. But with Kenneth Walker III, now you're going to take some of those. You're going to take some pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes too many times had his cape on and they depended on him to make plays. They needed a semblance of a running game, explosive aspect to the running game, and that's what Kenneth Walker III is going to bring to the Kansas City Chiefs.
What about this, D-Dub? The Ravens paid too much for Max Crosby. Is that an overreaction?
Oh, that's an overreaction. Listen, you only pull these type of moves if you feel like you're on the cusp, and the Baltimore Ravens are one of these teams that we feel like is going to be a Super Bowl contender. And Max Crosby is arguably the best two-way player, defensive player that we have in the game. He's very good against the run, and he's an elite closer in the passing game. So, you know, for Baltimore, this is a great situation to have a guy like Max Crosby and his leadership over with that organization.
Free agency just getting started, but in the early infancy of 2026's version, give us a story that we're underreacting to so far, D-Dub.
Yeah, how about Malik Willis down with the Miami Dolphins? And listen, you're talking about a projection right here, but can you imagine Malik Willis in the same backfield with Devon Achane? Like the athletic ability in that backfield alone will scare a lot of defense. And listen, those guys down there with the Miami Dolphins, obviously they came from the Green Bay Packers. Jeff Hafley, new head coach, they've seen this guy every day in practice. They know what this guy is capable of going up against his Green Bay Packers defense. So I'm really excited to see what Malik Willis is going to be doing down there in Miami.
Certainly made the most of his time in the last 2 seasons there in Green Bay, and now gets a fresh start down there in South Beach. Damian Woody joining us this morning on SportsCenter to do a little overreacting on a Tuesday. Thanks, D-Dub.
Back to college hoops.